I want to without any further ado, look at this. And the eagle-eyed amongst you, Narbi, can I tell them about the blue dot? Yeah, of course you can. Yeah. Well, you might not know this, right, but every one of Narbi's pictures, there's a blue dot somewhere in the image, right? But what's special about this one, he's put 2 blue dots. It's the only one with 2 blue dots. There you go. I forgot to say something. On your tables, right, there's a few things, isn't there? You've got a little pile of paper, and you've got 2 biros, one of which is shaped like a matchstick. Care of Temu. So, oh, you haven't, well... Where did I get it from? Where do you get what from? Temu? Where did I get the back from? Yeah. I know you haven't got any paper. We'll get you sorted out with some paper. It's all right, okay. Because what I want, like, because the whole point of this thing is that it's a collaborative thing. I know that's like a fashionable thing, but, you know, it has been really collaborative. So when we get to doing the big poem, you know, there's contributions in it from loads and loads and loads of different people. And the whole point of the book, when we get to the book, is that there's contributions in it from 30, 35 different people, you know, so I would like, as the night goes on, if you just get a rhyming couplet in your head, just jot it down, you know. No pressure. I'm not going to force you to read it out, right? But I thought it'd be nice if we could collect them at the end, and then maybe when we get onto version 2 of the book that we're not talking about yet, maybe we'll be able to incorporate some of those rhymes. Okay. Right. I would like to introduce the first of 2 of my favourite poets and 2 of my very best friends. Kathleen Kenny. Thank you.
Is this working? Okay. Thank you, Nev, for asking me to do this. I'm very honoured. I'm just going to read a few poems. Hang on. Well, I remember everything. Book, microphone, no glasses. Right. This is a collection called Plasticine for Girls, and it was published by the very lovely Kevin Cadwallader. This is called Pink Crimpling Dress. The first marks you make on the world should be fearless. The first breath, the first screams, the first skirmishes. I was a stranger in a strange house. It was pale and tight and rode at my legs as I sat on the black leather couch. It was my first party and the night Linda first had sex. I was out of my depth, silently willing her back from the mattress upstairs where she and Kelva were at it, unpeeling, squealing, touching each other up on top of all the coats. Put marks on a fresh page, watch ink patterns take shape, form letters, assemble words. No matter how afraid you are, be bold. Thanks. As a matter of fact, I found a picture of Calver. He's gorgeous, isn't he? I wish I'd fancied him at the time. Anyway, this is called Bus Room. And this happened when I was on the bus one night, waiting to get to a destination, and the bus driver was not going to drive the bus. So the bus driver, this is a quote from the stagecoach driver, I deserve better than this. This is called Bus Room. No such thing as a free lunch. Tell that to the well-heeled kids scarpering upstairs on the bus, demanding to be driven home free of charge. The driver's had enough, refuses to budge. When they finally get off, he shakes his head, blurts, "I blame Shami Chakrabarti." Finding the DNA kit, he stupidly sucks up samples of their spit, still sliding down the perspex screen that shielded him from their hockles and saved his weary, wicked-off face. This is just a short one for all the people out there in the world who don't have anything but a doorway. Out on these sadistic streets, thrill seekers and law keepers present their dangers to the ancient young man so low in the food chain, 2 fat pigeons budge in to his doorway, sit either side of a barely visible lovebird, begging to be believed. This might jog some people's memories. So I know a long time ago, a long time ago, about nearly 25 years ago, my reckoning, a lot of poets from Newcastle had a bus trip to Durham. Anybody remember? It was Brendan Cleary, Matthew Cayley, Paul Summers. And anyway, this was the bus trip. Ali May remembers. A night to remember. Markers were laid down, though there was no way of knowing at the time. Marriages made, friendships forged, identities lost, changed, lifetimes, broken hearts, a bus full of poets out tripping, passing round the driver's hat. We're all going on a summer holiday, as if it would all go over in a flash. Next day, pure orange, tomato and salt, favoured cure for hangovers. The continued line of in-out breath until we finally run out. I'm just going to read one more. It's a longer one, but it's... Okay, this was inspired by 2 events. So one was, I was trying to capture that moment between conscious thought and sleep when you slip into the subconscious world. And the other aspect was, I looked in the mirror one day and realised I bore an amazing resemblance to Diana Dawes. I don't know. Anyway, it was true, it was real. This is called catching it. That final moment of logic before the mayhem of sleep, slipping into a dream, the known faces and the strangers, concentration, let the mutations and the fantasies begin. Button of a scab from where a healing spider spins. My cat, left alone for 7 days without food or drink. The relief of realising I don't have a cat or any pets with fur or scales or wings. Roll out stepladders, the climb of sheep and pigs, winched from ice and snow sprigs. Irish greens after heavy rain, springtime swans, a camel, an ox, 3 horses shot dead, just for breathing in and out. A hobbled bird dares to say what's said. The beard I never thought I'd sport, but now it's here, I rather like. Beauty and the Beast, the endless bloody obsession with Diana Dawes and honeybees. She and me, 2 platinum blondes shimmering in mirrored chrome. eyes and smiles of unlikely twins, one chronically ill, one seeking a cure, a magic pill to kill Doe's syndrome, wake up mousy, separate, alone. Thanks very much.
Yeah, I might as well, yeah, thank you. I also forgot to mention that on your tables, not on your table, because your table went out last, but on most of your tables, and on the table over there, you find these weird little black things. Yeah, right. Now what they are, and again, these are from Temu, aren't they? What I thought was that this was pretty likely to turn into a COVID super spreader event, if it's not already, you know. So when we're getting to the second half of the evening, I'm going to be asking some of you to contribute. And what I thought was, so these are little microphone sheaths. Prophylactic. There, Sarah's done it. You see how that, look at that, it's lush, isn't it? It's like a little hairnet for the microphone, you see? So we've got 50 of them, but I don't imagine 50 of you, but I hope some of you are going to read. But you've got a little prophylactic sheath for the microphone when it comes around. And you, okay. There's plenty more at the front of the room if you run out. And now, another really dear friend and a fantastic poet as well, Paul Summers. Thank you.
Hello, everybody. I might stand up. I'm not very good at sitting down. I'm going to do a nice quiet set. I'm not going to shout or swear or nothing. I'm going to be on my best behaviour. This is a poem for Nev, and it's called Trace. Today the sea, clad head to toe in winter's rage, rakes up the past, roaring out her bleak unwelcome, baits the scavengers with her loot, the maudlin and the poor-faced crow, unearths the trace of loss and gain, of lust, of death, of moments unfinished, of labour's pain and the serenely mundane, the tooth of an ox who had fawned over sunsets, the sole of a shoe that had walked on gold, a broken mast, its core still straining with the tempest's blunt memory, a pipe still warm from a docker's cracked lips, a vulcanite stopper infused with their thirst, the polished bones of man and beast, each spur and burr filed off by time. Today, the sea, clad head to toe in winter's rage, rakes up the past. The red shanks bleat their false alarms. Me pockets bulge with weighty votives. The surfers wait, still poised to catch that perfect wave which never comes. I didn't say any of them would be happy. This next one's called Alchemy, and this is for Narbi. It is like a little family event, isn't it? Like a christening or a wedding. Alchemy. On Freestone Point, old time dissolves, melting in the brine of the middle wave's spittle. Each stubborn rock, reluctant but complicit, contemplates its passage to dune or bar. Distance is a line of tailor's chalk, our future's poised in its arc-slick magic, the heft of cloud compressing light, conjuring violet from whispered white. And another one, this whole book, which is my last book, and might be my last book, is all about, I live in Shields, and almost every day I'm down on the river, so like this whole book is pretty much like a book of days about scavenging or down on the shoreline. This is called Kiki. Kiki Morton has got one arm, the other sliced off by a tanky's blunt wheel, playing chicken on the freight line near Malvin's Road. That summer was hot, each day elastic. Today in the blue, the terns chant his name, skimming each syllable across the glare. That'll be Kiki. Beyond the midden's proudest peak, where limpets sculpt their cups and rings, just fishbone and whelk and wave-thrown clay, the raw divinity of crow and gull. Beyond the scarp, the reach of men diminished to a flimsy dream, the stab of grief to nettle sting. Here, a saint might make his god, and demons their legion, each strike of tide reforging fates. And then this is the title poem. This book's called Billy Casper's Tears. Billy Casper from Kess. Another miserable working class lad. Immaculate above the prow, orchestral strains against the gale. Grace dispensed to break its fast, it takes a dunnock on the wing. The rocks lament their slow decay, each tide unpicks their knotted law, unmakes this version of themselves. All frail nostalgia undermined, and sleek as grief another bleak cadaver sky lets loose its spells. The fleeting scroll of hungry turns deface the grey with distant names. Each curving volley of icy rain dissolves to ghosts within its murk. Involuntary, unending, like Billy Casper's quiet tears. Probably second last one. Here we go. This is called Reunion, or Night at the Museum. Spoons is stowed, its crowded bar a wedge of thirst, an eager slick of growing agitation, a confluence of unhealed wounds, a tumour of attrition, a smudged tattoo whose weeping edges relish in contagion. We worship at the altar of the cut-price crowd, blunt sepulchre of misplaced faith, a reliquary of losses, and every empty victory of stagnant empires, tattered standards, of struggle and toil, of all our dead parents and awkward divorces, of capped shafts, of yards left idle, of empty shops and factories grown quiet, of rotten stays, of thrift and forgetting, of youth and truth, and every scant memorial, communion in the trauma of a century's neglect. We meet to remember the absurd theatre of our former selves, awake for our imagined pasts. We drink it all in, raise toasts to the absent and to all our frail futures, whose faces have grown grey through the scarcity of care. Here, where empties form a barricade across the bar, bleak Jaeger bombs explode like hope above our heads, each sickly shot a warning from history. We cultivate our spite, our rhetoric primed, cementing our dogmas in monoliths of settled dust. Once, within these flickering walls, we learnt our fear of sharks and war, our love of love, the warmth of kisses, curled like cats in dark back rows beneath an arrowhead of magic light. And then, just to finish off, this is an older poem. This is called the Etymology of Hockle, and it's about a place that probably not many of you have visited, called Bebbside, which is just on the, over the lines from Blythe, from Cooten, where I grew up. Anyway, the Etymology of Hockle. The dogs of memory need a feed. This reek of hair oil and stale old spice excites in them a hunger. Once, in the gloaming of that tarry shed, I watched you splice in two flax ropes, each daughterless plait pulled roughly taut, all tension maintained in sure-handed magic. Your ancient art applied by rote, by touch and grip and quiet strength, their union invisible, and ours has grown knotted in the Rollywayman's secret. Beneath an elder, the ground ferments, imprinted on the bristles of an Easter whore, a trace of fox, of cornmouse and dainty roe, each legacy twice underscored by the slow worm's dull adventure. A single primrose is poised for song, a doily constellation of cow parsley florets, each frozen web a cable length now threaded with glass beads. The sun looks down upon your gifts, a smile within a look of loss, a hand within a hand, a wordless trek through dock and nettle, a faith in hope, the philosophy of senses, a sprawling nose and caveman brow, this posture and these words. the etymology of hockle, of vernacular vulgar for stringy spit, that burst of its core in flight like worked-out rope, each tendon frayed and trod upon in need of reparation. Your chapel has become a forge, your old stone school abandoned, a museum piece preserved behind bars and a mask of surveillance. The only sign of progress here, a blistered skin of tarmac to shroud the cinder path, each bulging window imprecise, etched with grit and smeared with oil. I place my hand, palm down against the pane, and watch my warmth create a ghost. Thank you.
Paul Summers, thank you. Are you all comfy? Good, okay. Well, it's just went like 8 o'clock. Are you looking a bit squeezed in there, Marko? Are you all right? Right, okay, fine. Just checking. You can open the window, Sarah, if you want to. No, I'm just saying to Sarah, you can open the window. So what I'm going to do now, we're going to have I'm going to ask Kath and Paul to get up on the stage again, and we're going to run through Cuddy's Cave version 24, which is the one that's in the book. Even though I've already written 3 verses of Cuddy's Cave version 25, which I might get on to. Is that okay? That's yours. I'm going to sit on the end. That's yours. Oh, sorry, Chris. Thank you.
Take the spinners.
Oh, look, I don't know if have you seen it? It's a lush book, like. Isn't that beautiful? Oh. I suppose shall I read out the title of the poem?
Yes.
Right, okay, here we go. Cuddy's Cave, or a traverse through the land between the Tweed and the Tyne, and of diverse times, places, and persons thereof, by way of rhyme, as related by Nev Clay and several others. Thank you. Here we go. So the current version is like 9 verses long, it's 72 lines, and probably a third of them have come from other people's suggestions, and I'm hoping to like increase that proportion. I mean, you know, like increase the proportion of other people's rhymes rather than my own rhymes. So anyway.
From Yeverin Bell to Meadowell, Broccolicia to Benwell, standing stones, payday loans, watch for the traffic calming zones. Bus stops, vape shops, babies in black and white tops, Keegan's perm, the ladly worm, and on the green belt, starter homes.
Togston Hall to the Biker Wall, Bobby Shafto, the Badger at Prudhoe, Venom, Rodney Buse, Sam Fender, Spender, Crocodile Shoes, the Dyke Nuke Barter Books, from Old Buick to Christmas at Phoenix, Farn Island Puffins, Freddie the Dolphin, Tynemouth Pier, Gazza's Tears.
Oh, thank you. This is one that I'm most... sorry, I shouldn't write. I'll just do it. I won't talk about it. But I am super proud of this. It's 4 rhymes in a row. Listen to this one. Sorry, I won't interrupt myself again. Bowlam Lake, crispy pancakes, Greg's steak bakes, I, Daniel Blake. Chillingham Cattle, Bamborough Castle, Ford and Roundtrees, fruit pastels. Ross Hill to Billy Mill, the Great Wind Sail to the Lytton Phil, Landfill, Roadkill, Ronnie Gill. Wake me when the boat comes in.
Carter Bar to Card Bar, the Big E to the Asherton Hole, Elsdon Gibbet, Rudy Hullet. Wallet's mullet, black bullets. Abattoirs, grouse moors, Cutters Park from the 23rd floor. Baker Grove to Geordie Shore, close the bloody coalhouse door.
The view from the Free Trade, Lucas Aid. The Handyside Arcade, Berwick to King Edward's Bay. If you read this, you are gay. Dinner at Bowers, the Morden Tower. Mike Neville's liver, the Coker River. From Knott's Flats to Sycamore Gap, pensioners in baseball caps.
Lynmouth ponies, tea at Mark Tony's, Vinderlander to the Crown Posada. Ketley Crag, the likely lads, here mate, can I buy a tab? Saxon monks, the smell of skunk. Super strong weed, the venerable bead. Mick, do you want to do this line? Or do you want... Oh, he's shy. The great Northumbrian coastal plain to bargain booze in Percy, Maine.
Away the lads, Buster Gonard, Gregorian Chance, Johnny Fart Pants, Blythe Power Station, a Biffa Bacon, the Sage in the Baltic, Mr. Logic, St. James's Park, the Pathetic Sharks, Beardsley's Face, 8 Ace. From friends in the north and Get Carter to Ophelia Balls at the Black Garter.
RAF Boomer, Bottles of Bella. Chatton and Duddo to Shields Road, Wilco's. Lindisfarne, Wind Farms, chucking out time at the Cumberland Arms. Alcan, Super Gran, middle of winter ice cream vans. Kippers from Craster, I'm living on pasta. The new Hartley pit disaster.
From Cuddy's cave to me grandma's grave. From Quicksave to me granddad's grave. From Lowden Shores to me mum and dad's grave. From Law's Stores to me granddad's grave. From Roughton Lynn to me grandma's grave. From Ritz Bingo to me granddad's grave. From Yavering Bell to me mum and dad's grave. From Cuddy's cave to me grandma's grave. Okay. Paul Summers and Kath Kenny, thank you very much. So the reason why, there's one reason why I asked Kath and Paul to read was because I love them and the poems are beautiful. The other reason is the rest of the evenings, the material's pretty thin, you know. So I thought I'd get something substantial in, you know, and then we can just... So I wanted to talk a little bit about how it all came about, and it's all in the book anyway, which you can read, but it came about because Gary and his band St James Infirmary had a instrumental track on their album in 2013, and he asked me to throw some words together, and I did. And at the time I thought, I didn't really think about what I was writing, you know, that just came from... I'd written a poem in 2005 about living in Long Benton in 1999, and it was sort of like that. But then when I sat down and thought about it, because I'm doing this, I realised that two other pieces of writing had been a big source for me. In fact, what I've done really in Cuddy's Cave is I've synthesised these two sources. One of them is Mick Ridley. He's dead shy, right? But he's Mick Ridley over there, right? He wrote an amazing poem called NHS Glasses, the rose-tinted kind. Which, are you going to read a line out of it? A couple of lines? All right, okay. So let's do that, okay? Let's have a couple of lines, okay. And then the other one was, did any of you see the Universal Pansies back in the days? Chris Farrell was the songwriter and the singer for the Universal Pansies, and he wrote this amazing song about pre-Christian Northumberland, about pre-Roman Northumberland, and about a sort of like a Celtic energy, you know. And he name checks loads and loads of Northumbrian places. So and I sort of feel like Cuddy's, as it is now, apart from all the other contributions from other people, is a synthesis of those two sources, you know. So do you want to do just a few lines? You want to do it from your phone? I've got...
To be fair, you know, I've never read anything in public before, and it's, you're asking us to reference a decade. And
I know.
It's ancient history before these people are born.
Do you want to use it? I mean, just do 4 lines, Mick, and then I'll do a...
Vision on, Chilted John, Gordon is an effing moron. David Cassidy, Donna and Marie, sorry, but we cannot return any of your pictures from the gallery. You either know or you don't. Live Up Birds, Thora Herd, Boogie Nights, Angel Delight, Concord, Consumption Wards, TB Jabs, Single Tabs, Opal Fruits, Baseball Boots. They want you as a new recruit. Sherbet Fountains, Butter Mountains, Space Hoppers, Rally Shoppers, Moroccan Black, Blood on the Tracks, Joy Division, 3-channel television, School Shorts, World of Sport, Brood's Knees, Bird's Eyes Peas, Susie Sue, S.O. Blue, Smash Hits, The Slits, It's, A Ballroom Blitz, Glenn Keeley, Dennis Healy, Jimmy Connors, Althea and Donna, Austin Allegro, The Long Bent Nagro, that's Nev. Round the Bend, Lisa's End, Hallelujah, John Tudor, Kielder Dam, Baby Sham, Council Rates, Party Yates, Proby Loans, Stylophones, Judge Dredd, Dawn of the Dead, Shepherds of Gateshead, Monster Munch, the West Denton Wild Bunch, Sid James, the Gateshead Games, Terra in Munich, the Female Eunuch, Etch a Sketch of Nadia Kamenich, the Boomtown Rats, Cool for Cats, Edison Lighthouse, Mary Whitehouse, Ribena, Ford Cortina, Confessions of a Window Cleaner, Boston, Steve Austin, A Man Barely Alive, Gentlemen, we can rebuild him, we have the technology. Iron Curtain, Mental Curtain, Fat Freddy's Cat, Anwar El Sadat, Scooby-Doo, Kung Fu, Lions Maid, The Red Brigade, Afghan Resistance, National Assistance, Lynn's Look-In, Shop at Bins, Jack Regan, Kevin Keegan, Zippy and Bungle, The Rumble in the Jungle, Vozine, Germaline, HP Beans, Peak Threens, Custard Creams, the original and the best. Skeletrics, Teenage Kicks, Smoking Players, Number 6, Giz a Blaw, Down with a Shaw, Pennies from Heaven, The Active 7, 8-Track, Caramac, Cadbury Snack, The Eagles, Embassy Regals, Gary Rowell, Night Owls, Buzzcocks, The Speaking Clock, Dial Disc, The Exorcist, Brian Cant, Bondage Pants, House. Rears and Fairings, Eddie Waring, Bugs Bunny, Dinner Money, Toba Mori, Jack and Ori, Piss Stained Lifts in the 14 Stories, Happy Days, Charlie Says, Killer Queen, Apollo 13, Gypsy Curse, The District Nurse, Nitty Nora, The Ditty Explorer, Huckleberry Hound, The Decimal Pound, Lipton's Makes Your Money Go Round, Free School Dinners, Everyone's a Winner, Shaved Heads, Sun-Blessed Bread, Trousers Off, It's Frank Boff. Mother's Pride, Let's Go, Nationwide, Kipper Ties, Morgan Wise, George Dixon, Richard Nixon, Kent State, Watergate, Gerald Ford, The School Board, Dennis Nilsson, Harold Wilson, Highway to Hell, Mary Bell, compilations from Kate Tell, Edward Heath, Penelope Keith, Tony Benn, The Mr. Men, quite like this one, Charlie Caroli, Don Corleone, Deep Throat, Sheepskin Coats, Elsie Tanner, Dr. Bruce Banner, Glenn Matlock, Albert Chatlock, Sarah Lee, Muhammad Ali, Night of the Hawks, Van der Vogt, Grange Hill, Pebble Mill, Kill the Bill, Police Stoned by the Crew, by the who? By the Crew, so fuck you. Play Away, the IRA, Sunday, Bloody Sunday, Coalbright, Apartheid, Echo Beach, Blair Beach, James Hunt, the National Front, Unemployment, Redeployment, Yop Schemes, Broken Dreams, Labour's Not Working, Vote Catcher, and Thatcher.
Thank you, Mick. As far as I'm aware, that's the first time you've ever read in public, isn't it? So since 2007, Mick's been sending me poems. We used to work together at the Nash, and every now and then I'll get some. Really good. He's done an even better one, I should tell you, about the 80s. I know you told us I should, but there's an even better one about the 80s. There's so much amazing stuff in there, and so much that you missed out, you know. There's a lot in there, isn't there? It's just the joy of the rhyming couplet, isn't it? There's a couple, Tudor Crisps, Toya's Lisp. That's in there. I know. Just genius, you know. There's something really exciting for me about that sort of juxtaposition, you know. It's so sort of reductive as well. Yeah, I was gonna do that. Yeah. And also, Mr. Sheen Idi Amin is one of the ones in there. So thanks again, Mick. That was absolutely amazing. Thank you, Mick. So I hope it's clear. I mean, you can see how that feeds into Cuddy's Cave, can't you? Just the simple beauty of a stupid rhyme, not stupid, but in my case, a rhyming couplet, you know. The thing, I mean, I was going to talk for a little bit about rhyming because I didn't actually start writing songs till I was 30, and you know, and to begin with, they were pretty shy as well, you know. But so I've always written poetry, I suppose, and it's nice to be doing this without a guitar, you know. It's but I've been thinking a lot about this, of course, you know, and talking about the joy of rhyming couplets, you know, and I was thinking about what inspired me, right, to start doing all this, apart from Mick's poems. And I was thinking about Harry Hill. Remember Harry Hill when he used to do that thing? Yeah. Stalagmites, stalactites. Yeah, that sort of thing. And he used to do like Queen Camilla, Polyphila, you know, or Joan Collins, Henry Rollins. I mean, do you even say Henry Rollins? There's another, Nicki Minaj, Nigel Farage. So it's like there's, you know, the more distance between them, the funnier it is, sort of thing. So there's a beauty in those juxtapositions, isn't there? I was thinking as well. What was I thinking about? I wanted to mention Dire Straits, and I'm sorry, I didn't think I would be mentioning Dire Straits, you know. But they're one of the bands. Look, I know Lindisfarne had Fog in the Tyne out, you know, and that was quite nice to hear a local river on the radio. But for me, it was like, it was really exciting for the first time to hear like the Spanish City get mentioned and colour codes get mentioned and Whitley Bay even get mentioned on the radio, you know, on a national channel. So I think that has fed into that a lot, you know, that it's just nice to sort of reclaim those things a bit. And it's also about, when you hear those things, there's a little sort of neural sparkle, isn't there? You know, like a little spark of recognition, you know. It's almost like when you shave your head, you go out in the rain, and there's sort of that sort of like, I don't know why I was thinking about it, but you know a Poisson distribution? You know the Poisson distribution of, you know? Yeah, it's like higher maths thing, isn't it? But it's how the raindrops fall, and it's those little sort of stimulations, sort of cognitive stimulations that get triggered. And I want to talk about Chaucer a little bit and his love of rhymes, and also my love of rap music, of course, you know, from buying the first LL Cool J album in London to Schoolie D. I was going to do a few Schoolie D rhymes, but I'm not going to do any Schoolie D. And so I was going to talk about from Chaucer to Chef Ray Kwan, you know. I think it might be time to have a little break, do you think, and get some beers in? Hang on, is there anything else I want to say? Look at it, I mean, I always... You got your list? Yeah. I am over... I don't just turn up and do things, you know. People think I'm a sort of shambolic, rank amateur, you know. It's taken days and... What have I got on my list? Oh yeah, I was going to mention Tim Vine. I was going to say, when I said how the rest of the material was pretty thin, you know, because it is just rhyming couplets, isn't it? It's like it's a one-joke pony. It's the one-trick pony, so I know there's a risk tonight that it's like going to a Tim Vine gig, you know. It's just like one-liner after one-liner, and you start by laughing and then smiling, and then a sort of rictus grin sets in, you know. And then the muscles get exhausted, and there's sort of like a slack-jawed horror as more and more like rhyming couplets are thrown at you, you know. Oh yes, now I wanted to talk about Patrick Kavanagh and his distinction between, he was the Irish poet and writer, wasn't he? He's, Patrick Kavanagh. And his distinction between the provincial and the parochial. And yeah, the provincial, for him, it's always looking towards the capital, isn't it? It's always looking for approval from the centre, you know, whereas the parochial is just saying, just fuck all that, this is just for us, you know, just for like an internal. Anything else? What? I know. Let's see what else I've got written down and then we'll have a break, all right? I've only got 2 more things to say, man. I was going to mention... Oh yeah, I should have said that. Go for a pee anytime you need to. I was going to mention Marcel Duchamp's the meeting of chance meeting of a typewriter and an umbrella on an operating table, and how these juxtapositions and how that's really interesting, you know, and putting these sort of disparate elements together. And I was also going to mention the psychoanalyst Christopher Bollas, that some of you might be aware of. No. Collaged object. Oh, the last thing, right? But I'm glad we waited. Okay. The last thing is Paul Bodie, right? Who's hiding in the back there, Paul John Bodie, who's he's written some great rhymes in the book. But he told me a story ages ago that I've been thinking about. He told me about when he was were you like the Catholics? And okay, right. So there's no shame in that, right? So he lived in Coatbridge. Anyone here from Coatbridge in Scotland? All right, okay. And he told us about a time, right? And I got obsessed with this image. And again, it's a juxtaposition. It's about. So he was in the Catholic area in Coatbridge, but it was the Silver Jubilee, right? So the Protestants were having a big sort of bean feast, you know, and they had the red, white, and blue bunting all over the place. So he sneaked up. Do you want to tell this? Can I tell this story? It's okay, right? All right. So they had the trestle tables out, you know, for the Silver Jubilee, and he snuck up, right? And there was like Union Jack bowler hats, plastic bowler hats, right? And he took one of those and he filled it with lime-flavoured jelly, right? So you've got a Union Jack bowler hat full of jelly, right? That's one image. I have used this at a couple of gigs before, and then the other image I invite people to hold in their minds at the same time is the Queen standing on the balcony at Buckingham Palace, right, wearing a lime green dress. And then it's just the plastic hat full of jelly and the Queen on the balcony wearing a lime dress. There's something beautiful there. Right, let's go and have a slash in the beer. Well, this next bit, right, but not just yet, don't panic, but this next bit is going to be an audience participation. And now, but before I do that, I thought I'd, over the last couple of days, once you get into this rhyming couplet thing, it gets really obsessive, you know. And I went to see Gary in Morpeth on Friday afternoon, and on the way back, they just started popping into my head, you know, and they wouldn't stop. I was awake till 4 o'clock on Saturday morning. It is a sort of a really, I mean, it is a sort of punitive, you know, I was saying outside, bloody, the number of times I've tried to find a rhyme for the cooperage. And there is a challenge for you, you know. So the problem is there's lots of lush things, right, in Northumberland, but you've got to find a rhyme for them as well. That's the tricky bit. So what you really need is something like this. Is Sarah up? Is she? All right, okay. Something like this. Stan Beckinsale's place names of Northumberland, and it's a list of all the place names in this. It's not like I'm cheating. It's not like using a rhyming dictionary, is it, you know? But there's lots and lots of beautiful What I love about this book, I've got a copy and Sarah's just given me another copy, and I bought copies for a few people. It goes right back to the Anglo-Saxon names. So you got somewhere like Allawash, where Sarah used to live, you know, but that was, in the old days, it was called, I can't remember what it was called. Anyway, what it means, so like when the Normans first started recording things in the 1100s, it means an alder swamp. So if you go back to loads and loads of these place names, like Upham, you know Upham? You know Upham, it's up past Tritlington, it's towards Tritlington. You know what I'm talking about. And Upham comes from owl, so it's the place of owls. I think that's beautiful, isn't it? What? Oh, it sounds like a hoot for the microphone. So I thought, just to get things rolling, I'm just going to read out. So I've already written like 3 new verses for Cuddy's Cave since Friday afternoon on the bus coming back from Morpeth. And I'm hoping, really, by reading them out, I can sort of exercise myself. It's horrifying compulsion. At the same time, I'd like you to please keep, I mean, if you've got some ideas, it would be lush to hear them, but I'll read these out, because here we go, right. And I'm also bearing in mind here of where we're doing this and the sort of people who are here. It's a pity Sarah's not back up yet, but you can tell her about it, okay? From Yevron Bell to Meadowwell, Broccolita to the Bridge Hotel. See? It's easy as that, isn't it? It's not very funny, though. Kielder Pine Martins, Blythe Spartans, Sodom and Gomorrah by John Martin. Is that cheating? Is it cheating, though? Come on, that's lush, isn't it? What a juxtaposition. It does feel like it's cheating rhyming Martin and Martin. Gibson Street Baths to Tanner's Bank, Mark. Freddie Shepherd's Chieftain Tank. Bedlington Terriers, Heaton Harriers. Persistent social mobility barriers. Do you run with Heaton Harriers? Oh, you don't? Oh, I was thinking of you. Oh, do you? Oh, well, right. Okay, never mind. Howden Dock, Northern Rock, Sparky the Budgie at the Hancock. Do you know about Sparky the Budgie? You do? Well, for those that don't, well, everyone does, so I won't bother telling you that. But he was the most garrulous budgie ever recorded, wasn't he? And he had this vast vocabulary, you know. And anyway, he died, and they stuffed him, and he's in a drawer in the Hancock Museum. Great story, thank you. Here's one, right, so I'm trying to keep up to date, right. So just last week, right, you know they've been trying to reintroduce beavers to Northumberland, right? And you'll get your chance. So, you know, Wallington Estate, like Wallington Hall, they've introduced a population of beavers there. And just last week, a beaver had a little kit, a little beaver baby, right? So it's the first time in 400 years that a beaver's been born. I'm not even listening. A beaver's been born in Northumberland, right? Wallington beavers, the border reavers. I think it's all right. It's all right, isn't it? I couldn't think of it now. I'll tell you, right. We'll cut this out of the video, right? Because I was gonna do Cheviot goats, right? You know, and in the Cheviot, they realised that this population of goats there are the descendants of a prehistoric herd that's been there for thousands of years, right? And there's only like 1,000 of them. So I was going to rhyme Cheviot goats to colour coats. I mean, it feels like but it's a right cop-out. It's a cop-out, isn't it? You know? I'll have to spend some more sleepless nights on that. Cragside rhododendrons. Right, now what we've got here, it's called has Bob gone? I think Bob. It's called a Yeatsian half rhyme. Do you know Yeatsian half rhymes? W.B. Yeats, the half rhyme is from the swan to the stone. You see, it's like a falling cadence at the end of the line, you see, so. Cragside rhododendrons to the Anson in Segadunum. To the Anson where that last from the B-52s came from, you see. From the low lights to the high main, crushing emotional pain. Once brewed, twice brewed, concrete hippos at Garth 22. Oh, I know. Greaves Ash, you can tell her about this. Greaves Ash to Olawash, Long Benton Metro to the Nash. Dickens, Rossetti, Garibaldi, Hendrix 8 at Marshall's Chippy. And so, presumably, did Garibaldi and Rossetti. You know, Dante Gabriel Rossetti, he was in Tynemouth, as well as Garibaldi, you know, the... so. We're nearly done, thank God. From Wide Open to New Hartley, dwindling life expectancy.
Thank you.
See what I'm doing here, right? What I'm trying to do, I'm trying to build... See? What I'm trying to do here is build in some social commentary, you know. See? You hit them with it, you hit them, you know. It's the blow to the solar plexus right in the last line, isn't it? You know, you think you're having fun, and then it's all over, you know. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to ask some of you who've already contributed to this, although admittedly, unknowingly. I think some of you, like in a drunken hour a year ago, might have responded to one of my Facebook posts. And what I've done, I've recorded everything you said, and then I've printed it. Basically, so seems fair. But I'm going to ask, now you might need your prophylactic thingy here. I'm going to ask Robin, because Robin was in the Universal Pansies, and Robin's volunteered to read out Chris Farrell's lyrics, which I think are particularly germane. Is that okay?
You don't have to get on the stage, you know, but it'd be nice.
Come this far.
All right, okay, good.
Thanks. So, as unlikely as it may sound, in the mid-1990s, I met this guy called Chris Farrell, who's there, and me and him set up what I consider still to be Wallsend's best krautrock band. Called the Universal Pansies, and it was actually at a Universal Pansies gig that I believe I met Nev for the first time. So thanks to that. So yeah, Chris had about him a little bit of Nev Clay in terms of using his talent to elevate other people, creating a sense of community, often bringing, no offence, slightly odd people together. And the next few minutes makes me realise I wish Chris Farrell had a taste for rhyming couplets. Sadly, he had more of a taste for Neolithic Northumbrian place names. Yes, I'm about to butcher some beautiful poetry that he wrote. Cunnyan crag, grey mare hag, spread your stone upon the rag. Many a stration, Millfield plain, Mesolithic maiden, made insane. Woden and the way, Lorden for the shore, holy for the stones, 5 kings for the law. Wheatwood way, heard the strip, Tweed until the Till, Penshaw hill. End of Tyne, Penbal on the hill. Holywell, Hooley hell, stone alone do tell. Divine the line that lies, truth where instinct flies. 4 stones at the keelstone, Goat's Crag, hold the cairn. Lindisfarne, Eastern Wing, Whitley Dove Meneers. Song one sung at Swinburne Long, Shaftow's raven rings. Yeaverin, I'm one again, Dodd cut rout the lin. Celestius, Pelagius, would they see the light in us? Oswald's tree or destiny, Cairn Hooley on the henge. Ladies well, Simon side, you ring the cup when Belburn rise. The Poynd and his man and Laidley's worm, Hether's pool and Tossonberg. Sun and moon, earth and sea, higher than morality. Hinge that hope upon the henge, once again in raised dolmen. Ravenshaw and Goat's Crag, shearers on the line. Hownham Law and Belshiel Rock, Hes Haw Stella Vibe. Celestius, Pelagius, would they see the best in us? Celestius, Pelagius, would they see the best in us?
Can you see the parallels, though, with Cuddy's? You know, that sort of synthesis of all that sort of pre-Roman, pre-Christian, that sort of the sacred sites, you know, without getting too much like Julian Cope, you know, without going all Julian Cope on you. I wanted to say, I did some research writing these lyrics because I haven't seen Chris, and obviously Chris died 10 years ago, and it's his brother who's given us permission to use those words, which is absolutely brilliant. But I did a bit of Googling, right, just to show how much work Chris put into this. Celestius, Pelagius, does anyone know who they were? Pelagius and Celestius? It's pretty cool, right, because they were heretic bishops in the late 5th and early 6th century in Rome, right? And Pelagius, who came from the northeast of England, though he was originally Irish, he was an Irish monk. He believed there was no original sin and babies didn't need to be baptized, that they were just fine as they were, right? So, which started a bit of a ruckus, you know, in Rome. And Celestius was one of his disciples, and they all agreed on this. And actually, Pelagianism carried on into the 6th, 7th century, this sort of the Pelagian heresy, which said there was no original sin, everything was fine as God made them, you know, so good on them. I think it's time that we just started to invite other people to read stuff out, right? So at the back of the book, shall I read all the names out? I'm not going to read all the names out, but you can see at the back of the book on the second last page. Oh, I love this. What's been weird tonight, right, is that every time I've played here, I've done a gig here or done a poetry reading here, there's been a train going over the top in the middle of me set, and I love that sound. So one of the instructions I was going to give at the start, not to be too autocratic about it, was to say, the instruction is, if a train goes over, you have to stop talking, and we can all listen to the train. There's been fuck all. Is there a train strike? Is there a train strike? Well, Martin's a train driver. Is there a train strike? There is a train strike, isn't there?
Yeah, check with all that.
Yeah. Anyway, look at the back, right? There's loads of lush people who've contributed already. So I'm just going to hide the mic into the audience, not literally, and just see if we can get some people to do some readings. I think that'll be lovely. And I'm looking for a volunteer just to go. Well, I'm not going to drag this on all night. We're just going to do this for 20 minutes, right, and see what happens.
It's a train. Is the train going past? Oh, well, thank you, Jennie. Thank you. Thank you, Jennie. Well, look, why don't you just grab that, right? Put your prophylactic on it, if you can pass that to her.
Glue spots, borstal dots, love bites, pigeon shite, tyres around the street lights, loose dogs, no bogs, bus stops, pie shops, hot and cold snacks, knife attacks, Sean the sheep haversacks. All the bloke have bad backs. Low pay gyro day. If you read this, you are gay. Under 10s, felt pens, sportswear, gelled hair, earrings, pushchairs, start a fire for a dare. Astras down the underpass, petrol bomb the local grass, ram raids, rollerblades, wheelchair ramps, menstrual cramps. Baseball caps, tenor raps, Metal doors, fuck the law. Happy house and hardcore. Hair clips, dog shit, speed bumps, tree stumps, nicked wheels, tenor deals, wobbly eggs, sex on legs, neck tattoos, electric blues, Sunday sports, anal warts, herpes, dodgy ease, tack heads, flower beds, carpet burns, handbrake turns, freezer bags, duty-free fags, racist stickers, nylon knickers, bags of chips, childbearing hips, betting slips, council skips, backyards, scratch cards, woolly hats, lost cats, don't worry, be happy, full nappies, knuckle scabs, caravan kebabs, own brands, final demands, all the flats are coming down, last exit to Chava Town.
Are you going to do one, Katie?
Is that right?
Yeah, absolutely, yeah.
I think these look a little bit more like hairnets for hamsters. That's what I'm going with. Clean mind. The old coal yard to 2x2, Big Lamp, Wylam and Mordu. Brinkburn Street, Northern Alchemy, out there, full circle, Almasty. Cheryl Tweedy, Jimmy Nail, the Bluebell and Jesmond Vale. Blossom's Cafe to the High Main, crushing emotional pain. Jackson's the Raby, the Butcher's Arms, Toxic Waste on Biker Farm. Hang on, Jenny, did you just do this one? Good, okay. Just double checking, I'm not repeating myself. The Old Cattle Sanitarium to Biker Ricketts Solarium. The Grace and the Glendale to the Fossway. If you read this, you are gay. The Turbinia and Scrog Road to Elder Beer and the Tipsy Toad. Tanners to the Ship, Clooney to the Tyne, Livers working overtime. Spiller's Flour Mill, Chips from Gills, feeling ill on the Ballast Hills. The Mailing Pottery in Hult's Yard to Pet's Corner and the Pet's Graveyard. Dalton Crescent after dark, fly tipping in Walker Park. Bivens Haberdashery to the Biscuit Factory. The Free Trade to the Cumbo, Alback to Albion Row. Parish is gone, like Woolies and Wilco. Who remembers Netto?
Thank you. That was me trying to do a poem about biker, you know. Thank you. Yeah, just pass it into the throng. Absolutely right. Who else is gonna do one? Sarah over there. Oh, nice one, Sarah. What are you gonna do? You can do something sort of from the back of the book, like all the different contributions. Well, just dive in and see what happens.
Stevenson's Rocket, Black Bullets in Me Pocket, Pitman Painters, Percy Mainers, or Jesmond Remainers, PS1. Herb Nerbs, Shershel Derbs.
Social clubs.
Keegan's Perm, The Lantern Worm, Ice Cream Floats and Colour Coats, Fading Plans and Tyne Sands, Sally Army's Sunday School building rafts on slag heap pools. Bessie Surtees, Dogleap Stairs, Toon Supporters, Long Despair, Federation, Nuki Brown, Eaton Chips in Morpeth Town, Brough Park Dobbs, Big Market Bogs, Jesmond Vale, Jimmy Nail, Kielder Dogs, St James's Park, Vindalanda having a gander, Bobby Charlton's Hair, Dogleap Stairs, Ingram Valley, Roger Melly, Winter Coats, The Vibrating Bum-Faced Goats, the Hancock Dinosaurs, Rogers Profanosaurus.
Thank you, Sarah. That's plenty. Thank you, Sarah. That's brilliant. And you'll see when you get your book, right, that next to each of the little paragraphs, so even just a line, there's a couple of initials, right? And then if you go back to page, whatever it is, 49 or whatever, there's a list of all the people's names, right? So that's everyone who contributed the first time round. So you can see what they've written. In a moment of madness, in most cases, admittedly. So. Right, who's next? Do you not? That'd be brilliant, thank you.
Biker Grove was in Benwell, that often surprises. more than Jimmy Nail's many guises. Stumbling through town on drunken legs, past the bright lights of the 24-hour Greggs. The last bus is late, you hear them grumble. PJ and Duncan get ready to rumble. Raven, Penetration, Satan, Skyclad. The guitarist from Maiden, who's a Hartlepool lad. Sam Fender, Spender, Crocodile Shoes, Venom, Phenom, Rodney Buse. Seaton Burn, Big Vern, Sharon and Trey in Whitley Bay. T. Dan Smith's architectural abominations. Andrea Riseborough's surprising Oscar nomination. Boodle Bay oyster catchers. Pink Lane Bakeries, amazing focaccia. My hometown was destroyed by Thatcher.
Those lines by Mr. Dawson.
Billy the Fishy on a little dishy. Bob Ferris in Simonside Terrace. Fresh baked stotty, Pumphrey's coffee. The River Tyne banks, me liver's fine, thanks. That's the one I contributed, and I have no recollection of doing that at all. The bit about the Tyne banks, not the coffee. BBC always replay Ronnie Bloody Radford. Has anyone ever stayed on all the way to Slateyford? Rodri Davies playing Elian Radigue, Newcastle United Champions League. I'm sorry whoever's that one belonged to.
No, that's absolutely fine. It was Graham Thrower, and he's not here, fortunately, so he won't.
Would you like to take over?
It's a beautiful
Someone
line,
else?
isn't it? Don't be too choosy, Ali.
I know, he's having a good route through the book.
No, it's not.
Come on, Ali. Come on, Ali.
It's
Go
not the
on.
anthology of British verse, you know.
The Wansbeck Regatta. Is that right? Sheepwash Bridge, Our Water, Ashington Indoor Market, North Seaton Dallas, Corbett, PK, Kelly Crew, the Azure Blue, Hippos and Garth, 22. From Ryden Mill to Biker Hill, with a bag of whiz and a Roby pill. Casbah Kibbers, Mr. Roman Zippers. Kids go mental on the Eldon Square pencils. I remember them.
Yeah, me too.
The Old George Olden Square. Little hippies with long hair. Asphyxiations in the bus stop station. Later on, RVI patient. Beers on the boat, Friday and Flynn's. The big market bogs, shops at bins. Old Ellen Square and Grove Market guitars. Lost Riverside and other bars. Egypt Cottage, Barley Moor, all places where I used to go. Lindisfarne singing, where the winter song, a swinging bridge by Lord Armstrong.
Thank you, Roberta. That's brilliant, isn't it? Shall I do a couple for people who aren't here? Yeah. Okay. Let's just do. I'm just mindful that a couple of folks aren't here, and then we'll go back around. Because thank you, that's brilliant, Roberta. Thank you. And I can see some scribbling on bits of paper here and there that might be indicative that a couple of rhyming couplets might. Have you written any, Jonas? What are you doing, man? No pressure, no pressure. This was, well, actually, there's a story, right? There's a story.
There's a story about this rhyme, right? The Denton Turret, Rudy Hullett, right?
That's what I was originally going to go for. Well, actually, no, I was going to go, I had
Elston Gibbet, the Denton Turret, Rudy Hullett, Black Bullets, right? But then I got really concerned about, do you know where I'm going to go with this? I asked about this at the Tea Tree Cafe. Actually, I asked the audience, Do you think this is just, there's something uncomfortable about the Rudy Hullett Black Bullets thing? Do you know?
No, it's the Eldon Gibbet.
Oh, no, that's not the uncomfortable bit. No, it's not. It's not. So then Richie, who's tucked away in the corner there, he said, what about Waddle's mullet, black bullets? Which is perfect, isn't it? The Eldon Gibbet, Rudy Hullett, Waddle's mullet, black bullets. I was saved by the... And there's loads and loads, and I haven't got time to go through them all, but there's loads and loads of people, like Rowan read some of Paul's rhymes, Paul Stewart at the back there, absolutely amazing. What was the one about Raven and Skyclad? It was Paul Stewart, he was too shy. Or do you want to read some out? Oh, okay. I know yours have been read out already, but it would be nice, like... But, yeah, okay, yeah, you could do that as well, yeah. But it's okay, it's fine. Well, look, I'll tell you what, I'll just read out a couple. There's one by Tony Gorilla here, who isn't here. There's one by Steve Malley, who isn't here. So let's just do that. Riverside, Rachel Watson. Rachel was good. She would have loved this. You would love this one. Riverside with Big Neil's Disco. Hardcore bands from San Francisco. Puppy Fat, Nivens, Crane. Dancing to the House of Pain. It's good, isn't it? Tony Gorilla. I know. Who's this? MJ. Is that you?
Was that Rachel who wrote that?
That was Tony Gorilla wrote that.
MJ, Michaela Johnson's going to write the next one, right? The Mayfair Ritzy Riverside, Quayside Market, cassettes are snides. Black Garter holdalls full of hoisty gear. It's $1.20 for a cooking beer. I'm trying to find Steve Malley's. Oh, well, here's one. Mike Neville, Bobby Thompson, Tim Healy, just some of the NE funny men. Tickets for the City Hall to see Echo and the Bunnymen.
Right, you're going to do a couple of... And have we got a couple of actual new rhymes here in the corner?
Do one.
You do one, okay. Well, Paul, I'm going to ask you to read it. Let's pass it all the way back there. A couple of rhymes from Paul, right? A couple of rhymes from Jane and Juan and Hazel. A couple of rhymes from me. I'm going to read some of Mick Ridley's poems out, okay? Just a couple, and then we'll just wrap it up, okay? Because Liz wants to read them. Oh, you've written one. All right, okay, great, okay.
Andy Taylor from Duran Duran, the Tigers of Pantang, the Hatton and the Lang. This one's already been read out, but I'll do it again in my own voice. Raven, Penetration, Satan, Skyclad, the guitarist from Maiden, who's a Hartlepool lad. Sam Fender, Spender, Crocodile Shoes, Venom, Venom, Rodney Buse.
That's great. Paul Stewart. So we're gonna, let's pass it to Liz. Liz, have you written one?
It's shit.
Then you've got to silence the internal critic. You've got to silence that. Otherwise, nothing would ever get written.
It's only little.
Menopause, Santa Claus. Hot flushes, brock bushes. Brain fog, brain fog, brain fog, brain fog. Right, I've written 2 verses. I hope that's all right. I'll be dead quick though.
Course, yeah.
Okay. Metal gigs at the Chilly Arms, eggs that come from Lintz Hall Farm. The closing night of the Cooperage. Heaton Backlane discarded fridge. 15-minute funeral at the West End Creme. The food bank at the Wall's End Mem. Tuxedo rotating dancing floor. Lost stilettos at the boulevard.
Smoking tabs outside the door of the General Hospital Cancer Ward. A wanking walrus to a Knopfler chorus. Wet and Wild, Greg's Dummy Child. Wallsend Hall to the Monument Mall. Winter sledging down Cow Hill. Sergeant Pepper's on a pill. Big market vomit, traffic cones. The Bridge Hotel, Nev Clay Poems.
Thank you, that's amazing.
Jane and I have formed a double act. So I've just got the first bit and then I'll pass it over. Chris Killip, Shields Willix.
Tish Murtha, also circa. Monument Saturday, socialist worker.
Got some back there, yeah. You need another, like a little thingy, a little...
It's short but sweet. Fuck the police. Well, sting at least.
Got anyone over here? Here, John. Right.
Hello. I've got one about off licenses and local band promoters. Mr. Q, Sids and Bargain Boozers, Paul Reed Simmer, Hazel Oozles.
I have a few lines. They just handed it to me.
Oh yes, please. Yeah, good.
Put on the kettle, Nevy metal. Fish is coming in on a trawler. Turns out Garibaldi is not a footballer.
It's an inspiration to do this, you know, but does anyone remember the village lorry, the pop lorries? That used to, yeah, we used to say Villa makes it iller. So I've got a sherbet dip for the tip, Villa's lorry, patterned for the trolley.
Oh. Mate, shall I just wrap it up? Has anyone got any more? Let's wrap it up. Yeah, thank you. Thank you very much, Kieran. Thank you as well. It was great. Magic, thank you. I'm not asked about the COVID. Oh, I just thought I'd finish with a few more Mick's, if that's all right. He's also written, well, he's written loads and loads of poems. This night isn't about Mick Ridley, you know, but he is great, like so. Anyway, in celebration of rhyming couplets, this isn't the whole thing, but he's written these about it was big in the 80s, this one is. Red Wedge, Sister Sledge. I mean, these are astonishing. What? Larry Grace and Kylie and Jason. Super Gran, Hilda and Stan. Big in Japan, Repo Man. And now, Duran. We'll edit that one out. Yeah? Tiananmen Square, Songs from the Big Chair. Wow. Mary's Prayer, the Beiderbecke Fair. We're on the road to nowhere. Brush strokes, Doris Stokes. He's done another, I'm not trying to embarrass, he's done another 4, I hear, there's 4 here. Brush strokes, Doris Stokes, Killing Joke, the Tetley Tea Folk. Mark E. Smith, Peter Sutcliffe. Maradona, Sarah Connor. Dr. Dre, Howard's Way.
Really good on. Oh, God. MDMA, fade to grey. Warriors come out to play. Belinda Carlisle, the Blue Nile. Wake up king in a Catholic style. Nobody's hero, 9 below 0. I'll just do a couple more. They all look like it. Red Ken, Dirty Den, Mr. Ben. Over the hill with the swords of 1,000 men. Oh, well, let's push it to the max. What we are done here, right? Carol Smiley, Mavis Riley, Dusty Bin, Jimmy Hill's Chin. It's a Sin, Aphex Twin. No Sleep Till Brooklyn. Bloody hell, man. He's got a 5 there. He's got a 5. Godly and Cream, Soda Stream, Primal Scream, Youth Training Schemes.
Good. Do I need to end on a high? I don't. It's been really good. Oh, hang on. Well, let's see if I've got any. I don't think I have got any more. Oh, there's another page of them. Right, great.
Thank you. Primal Scream, Youth Training Screams, Together in Electric Dreams. Planet Zanussi, Mrs. Slocum's Pussy. Love Shack, Pauline Black, Do the Shake and Vac. It takes a nation of millions to hold us back. Incredible. Blue Monday, Sunday Bloody Sunday. Hand in glove, the hounds of love. No. The Fall, Cannon and Ball. Curtain Call, the Berlin Wall. Brian Clough, Boys from the Black Stuff. When the gun gets tough, I just can't get enough. That's your lot. Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you to Mick and to Kath and to Paul and to everyone else who's read and contributed. Thank you very much. And have a splendid week. Thank you.